Hello, my name is Eric, and welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head. So, in this podcast today, I titled it, When in Rome, Do What the Romans Do. And basically, uh, it's not a rant, I'm just trying to understand what is going on with this LGBTQ pronouns. Um, I've read a little bit on it. I've heard a little bit on it, and of course, it's you try to hear both sides of the equation to understand what's going on. And for me, being an old timer, growing up in the 60s and 70s, when it came to pronouns, being gay, it was very interesting. You had what was called drag queens that dress up like women. And when they dress up like women, you'll say she. Especially if they had a bar, or if you had a gay club or in a gay environment. Now, when they're not dressed up like a female and they dress up in what they call male clothes, I guess you could say he. But then there's a lot of times when we still say she if we know they are drag queens. I guess it's the same, or for the opposite sex, for the females who dress up like, I think they call them drag kings. Okay, I mean, all I can say is this. If whatever it is that you want to be, if you're trying to emulate a female, in my opinion, in the gay community, yes, we're going to call you she. If you're trying to emulate a man, of course, we're going to call you he. That seems to be very common sense. But now we have something different going on. Now we have what they call trans. I've met a few trans, and like I said, if it's a trans, I guess a trans women, I would say. So I don't know how that worked now. Here, now you got to correct me. If it's a trans man trying to be a female, and if they did trans over, it doesn't really matter. If they drag queens are trans over, I would say she. If they look like a she, I'm going to say she. It's like if they look like a he, I'm going to say he. I mean, that to me is what society would do. Granted, in my profession, I'm a massage therapist, and there were times I would go pick up my client, and it's happened quite a few times, and I would introduce myself, and then I always, before I take them into the massage room, I would say to this one person, I said, would you like to use the ladies' room before we go to the massage? And she said, no, take her in the room, tell her what to do, leave the room while she undressed, and then I go back into the room and I undrape her, and I realize, oh, it's not a she, it's a he. But being that he didn't say anything, what was there to say? I mean, if I was wrong, then he could have said, I'm sorry, but I'm a man or whatever. Now, I don't know what's going on with the trans situation. Like I said, I've known a lot of trans people, and if they're trans women, I would say she. If the trans man, I would say he, because that's the way it is in society, and it makes sense. I don't know anything about if a person were to get the transformation. Like I said before, if they got the transformation, it's the same thing. Now, drag queens, we still, like I said, drag queens, she. But I don't understand why we have to have these pronouns. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you get the sex change, you get the sex change because you want to be a he. If I'm not correct, even if you still have whatever it is on between your legs, either if you want to be a she, then obviously if you're walking around dressing like a she, in my opinion, you're a she if that's what you want to be. Now I've had people said that it would be disrespectful if they didn't have these pronouns. I don't know too much about that either. It's almost like in the 60s when you had the feminist, think the feminist movement, when they came up with Ms. It was Miss, Mrs., and then it came up with Ms. I forgot the reason why they came up with Ms. I mean, Ms. is a woman who's, I guess it was a generic term to say, instead of saying Miss or Mrs., to say one is married or one is not married, you use the term Ms. And you could call everybody a Ms., any female a Ms., you know. I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. But let's get back to this transgender pronouns. And I Googled it online, and it's a mess. All the pronouns they got out there, it's a mess. That's why I call this podcast, When You're in Rome, You Do What the Romans Do. If society is not ready for those pronouns, then why are you pushing the pronouns? If you want to be someone to call you one of those pronouns, just correct them. I remember when the phone, before we had cell phones, a regular phone, if you call somebody, in the office, whatever, they may say, "Oh, ma'am, this." I might say, "Well, I'm a man. I'm not a man." You'll correct them. Because on the phone, you could sound like a man or a woman on the phone. If you don't correct them, it's fine. I mean, what is the big deal? So it's not really a rant. I'm trying to understand, why do we need all these pronouns? I mean, in the day when we camp it up, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, I've had a friend who I got very angry with. He's always camping it up, Well, he didn't dress like a woman. I mean, you may think back in those days he acted like a woman. He didn't dress like one, but he acted like one. And it was fine. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. One day he got on my nerves, camping it up and acting like a female. Something happened that was very serious. A friend of ours died. And instead of him, in my opinion, I didn't think he was serious about it. He could have been. But he was camping it up, really camping it up. And I'm like, and I got mad. And I said, when do you get tired being a faggot? Do you have to be like that 24/7? Now, that was me. Of course, he stopped being my friend after that. But that was me. Because there were guys back then who camped it up all the time. This is what they did 24/7. Now, I just said camp it up, maybe that's the way they really were. Maybe they really were or felt like a girl, and well, like I said, he didn't dress up like a girl. I never saw him in drag. But yeah, he was always effeminate. I'm going to be honest with you, he didn't look effeminate, but yeah, he always acted effeminate. So in my mind, he was camping it up. And then, yeah, we didn't have a problem with pronouns. Camped it up so much, everybody called him she, because she acted like a she. I don't know what other pronoun to get, unless he had his own other pronoun. But if he did have his own pronoun for me to call him, then, in my opinion, then he should stop me and said, I am not a she, I am not a he, I am blah, blah, blah. Being that he was my friend and we were always out and about, I would use that pronoun for him or her. But for him to walk around thinking that that's the pronoun that he wants to be, and people should call him that or automatically call him that, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, he didn't dress up like a she. He didn't look like a she. He acted like a she. You could call him a she. He didn't get mad. You call him a he. He didn't get mad. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand. Maybe someone can make a comment on this and let me know what the hell is going on. My name is Eric, and thank you for listening to the craziness that lives inside my head.